Hi, this is Duke from Studio One, and this is a video tutorial on our yearbook software. Our yearbook software is called PLICBooks, and you can get here by going to PLICBooks.com. Just type in the URL on the very top over here. And when you log in, the first thing you'll see is your dashboard. So the dashboard is going to tell you your yearbook status. Below that, you'll see your subject management. This is your portrait database. It's going to have all the records of your students and staff, and we're going to be uploading everything for you. It'll probably be uploaded around December or January after the last makeup day. Once everything is uploaded, you'll be able to see all your students and staff. And if you needed to make a change, you can search for that student here, type in their name, and you'll be able to change. You can select them and you'll be able to change their first name, last name, teacher, or grade. Whatever changes you make in the subject management is going to be applied to your pages. Next section you'll see is the users section. This is where you can add users to help you out with the yearbook. To create a new user, you just have to click on Create User up here. And then you'll be able to add their name and their email. And if you add their email right here, it's going to automatically send them an email invite to log in. And down here, the role, this is where you can set their role. The two important roles are the school advisor and the user. So if you want to give someone full access, you would make them a school advisor. If you want to give them limited access, you would just make them a user, and then that way you'll have to assign pages for them. And then the next section is the candid photo section. These are your albums where you'll be uploading all your photos. Right now there's only one album called the miscellaneous album. If I click on it, I can drop down and see all the different albums. If I wanted to make a new album, I can click on this green plus button right here to create an album. And I'm just going to call this album the sample album. So now when you drop down, you'll see the sample album and also the miscellaneous album. To add photos to this album, you have to click on the upload icon right here. And if you click there, you'll see an uploader that will let you upload from your files or from your Google Drive or Instagram. You can also share this album by copying this top link right here on the top right. Whoever clicks on that link will be able to upload from their computers, from their Google Drive or Instagram. So I'm just going to upload a few photos for you to see how that's done. All right, so once I selected my photos, they're going to show up in the uploader. And before I click start uploading, I can add tags to them. Tags will be very helpful for you to identify the names of the students in those photos. Otherwise, it'll just be the file name. So you can put the name of the students in this field. You can put their grade and their teacher, and then start uploading. So once everything is uploaded, you go back to PLICBooks and just refresh it. Now you're going to see a button, orange button that says 5 awaiting approval. Those are the 5 that has been uploaded from the guest uploader. So I can select certain photos that I want to approve and approve them. Or if there's a lot of photos, I can click on the select all. And if you wanted to deny a photo, you just have to click on the red X on that photo. Okay, so once you're ready to approve them, just click on the green button to approve everything. It's going to give you a little warning. You just hit OK. And once you go back to the candid photos and you drop down and go to the sample album, you'll see that they are now added. Whenever you hover over a photo, you'll see the name of the file and also the tags below that. And to edit the tags, you just have to click on the yellow icon right here. And this is where you can change the description tags. You can delete a tag and add a new tag. You can also change the name of the file. Just hit OK. If you wanted to move the photos to a different album, you can select those photos and then click on the Move To button. You can move it to any different album. So now if I go to the miscellaneous album, you'll see those photos are in that album now. And if you wanted to delete a photo, you just have to click on the red X on that photo to remove it. Be careful about removing photos because it doesn't give you a warning. We'll just remove that photo. And be careful about clicking on this red X because that will delete your entire album. Instead of deleting a photo, I'd recommend creating a trash album and just moving that to any photos that you don't want to use to the trash album. That way you'll know not to use that photo, but it's still there in case you still want to use it. And then the last section we'll talk about is going to be the orders section. This is going to be the yearbook storefront where you can sell your yearbooks online. The only downside to using this storefront is there is going to be an 8% fee out of the price that you set. And that fee is just to cover the cost of the platform and the credit card transactions. If you need help setting it up, we can set it up for you. But if you'd like to do it yourself, you just have to go to the Manage Store by clicking on this icon. And you'll have to turn on your bookstore and set your price right here. Make sure you turn off the shipping required. We'll just be shipping everything to the school. And in this field right here, you can change your last purchase date. I would make it 5 weeks before you need your books delivered to the school. And then this last section is where you can turn on yearbook sales, yearbook ad sales. If you enable it, you can set your prices for different size ads right here. And if you wanted to make that ad unavailable, you can just make the price 0 and it won't show up on the store page. So if you just want to sell the quarter page ad, you can just set a price for the quarter page ad and save. So now that your yearbook store is enabled and we turn on all the settings, you can share the link for the store by copying this URL on the top right. And whoever you share that link with, they'll be able to see this page where they can purchase the yearbook and purchase a yearbook ad. If a parent buys a yearbook ad, they'll be invited to work on just their ad. And if you go back to your menu, you'll see an ad section right here. This is where all the ads will go once the parents creates them. Once they're here, you can just add them to your book. The last section we'll cover is the layouts section. You can create layouts for your book here. You can have different categories of layouts. You can just have to click, you can add a new category right here, and you can add a new layout right here. Give it a name. And then you'll be able to open up the layout editor and create your layouts right here. And if you want to go back to your dashboard, just click on the hamburger menu on the top left and then go back to your dashboard. You can delete your layouts right here by dropping this down and deleting them. Okay, so that covers the menus on your dashboard. But if you want to work on your book, you have to go to the editor. And to get there, you just have to click on the button on the very top, go to book. And that's going to open up your book editor. So the first thing you'll see is your front cover. But if you wanted to move to different pages, you just have to click on the tabs on the bottom, next page. And you can see this is the inside cover. You're not able to work on this page. And then this is page 1. Now you're going to notice there's a yellow border around the page. That's going to be your margin, and you don't want to keep anything in the margin. If you wanted to view your entire book, you can click on the button on the bottom center, preview, and you'll be able to see your book ladder with all your pages. If you wanted to add new pages, you'll have to click on the blue plus button right here, and that will add new pages. If you wanted to delete a page, you just have to hover over the page and click on the red X on that page. It's going to give you a warning. Just hit OK. There's no way to bring it back after you delete it, so just be careful. If you wanted to duplicate a page, you can click on the duplicate icon right here. And if you wanted to move a page around, you just have to drag and drop it. You can also rename pages by clicking on the page number and then typing in a different name. And if you want to open up that page, you just have to click on the arrow icon on that page, and it opens up that page. To add content to your book, you'll notice there's two bars on the left and the right. The bar on the left is going to have your layouts, your backgrounds, and your mask. So if you drop down on the left over here and go to the layout section, you'll see all the different layouts that are available. To add them, you just drag and drop it on the page. And once it's on the page like this, you can move frames around and resize certain frames. If you wanted to add a background, you just have to drop down and go to the background section. And then these are all different categories of backgrounds. So if you pick a category, you'll see all the backgrounds that are available. And then you can just drag and drop it on the page. And once it's on the page, if you wanted to edit the background, you have to click on the orange gear right here on the corner. And that opens up the side menu. You can click on the background settings to open up the settings for the background. Here you can change the opacity, you can change the saturation, you can make it grayscale if you wanted to, change the brightness and contrast, and you can flip it. If you wanted to remove a background, you just have to click on the gear again, and then go to revert background to go back to a white background. You can also, if you go to the backgrounds, you can also upload your own backgrounds. You just have to go to the Your Backgrounds category right here. And then you'll have the option to click on Add Backgrounds and upload backgrounds from your computer. If you created a nice layout that you want to save, you can click on the menu right here and then go to Save Layout. So now that you saved your layout, you can access your layout right here on the left under Your Layouts, and you can just add that layout to different pages. You can also select everything on the page by drawing a selection box right here, and then click on the red X on this menu right here to remove everything. If you wanted to change the shapes of these frames on your page, you can apply a mask to them. So just go to the left side and go to the mask section. And masks are basically just shapes you can apply to the frames. So if you want to add like a rounded corner shape to the frames, just drag and drop these on your frames, and it makes your frames a rounded corner. You can also add circle shapes to your frames. And if you go to the global alpha mask, these are some unique looking masks that you can add to your frames. So some of these look like brush strokes. So those are masks. That's how it works. On the right side is where you can access all your clip art and photos. So if you drop down on the right side, you go to clip art section. These are all the different clip art that's available with the software. So you just have to pick a category and then drag and drop it on the page. Design elements is for if you want to add empty text boxes and frame boxes to your page. You can drag and drop it on your page right here. You can drag a text box right here. And you can add a shape to your page. You can resize it by dragging the blue handles. And if you want to rotate anything, you just have to drag the green handle right here. And if you want to add photos to your page, you drop down, you just have to drop down on the right side and you can see all your albums. So if I go to the sample album, you can see the sample photos that I uploaded. You just have to drag and drop it on the page. If you don't drop it inside one of the frames, it will create its own frame. You can just resize it. Now any photo that you add to your page, there's going to be a number next to that photo. That's how many times it's been used in your book. So this photo has been used twice, and if you hover over it, it's going to tell you which page it's been used on. Whenever you select anything on your page, you're going to see a settings bar that pops up above it. That's how you would edit the settings for that object that you selected. So if you wanted to move this photo behind the other frames on the page, you'll just have to select it and then click the back arrow to move it backwards. You're not going to see any changes unless you click off of it. So if I click off of it, you'll see that it's behind all the other frames now. If I wanted to add a stroke on this image, you can click right here, and the stroke is just the border. So if you want to add like a red border, you can pick a color and then change the thickness. If you wanted to add a drop shadow, you can click on the drop shadow icon right here. And then pick a color, change the settings for it. And then these settings right here are to change the look of the image. So you can invert it, grayscale it, change the opacity, blur, brightness, and contrast. If you want to crop this photo, you can click on the crop tool and that will let you zoom in on the photo. It locks the aspect ratio, but if you untoggle this, it'll unlock the aspect ratio, and then you can make it more of a portrait. And then just hit OK. And if you cropped in too close, you'll always be able to resize it and restore the crop. Okay, so if you zoom in on the photo too much, you'll notice there's going to be a red highlight on that photo. And that's just to warn you that the resolution is very low. So I would either make the photo smaller or use a better quality photo. If you click on text, you'll also see that bar that shows up. This is where you can change the font and then the font size and the font color. And if you wanted to delete everything, you can draw a selection box, select everything, and then just hit the red X to delete it. If you made a mistake, you can always go back by clicking the undo button on the bottom left. You can go back and go forward. And if you want to zoom in on the page, you just have to click on the magnifying glass to zoom in. It'll let you select a zoom level, so you can go 150% to zoom in. And then once you're zoomed in, you can drag the scroll bars to go up and down, left and right. And if you want to go back to regular zoom level, just Change it to 100%. Everything is saved in real time, so you don't have to worry about saving and closing. You can leave comments on pages by clicking on the yellow chat bubble right here. Leave a comment on this page. Or if you want to leave a comment on the entire book, you can click on this chat bubble right here. And if you click on the hamburger menu on the top right, you'll open up the side menu. And this is where you can go back to your dashboard if you're done working on your book. You can access your subject management. And if you go to project management, you'll be able to assign pages for certain users by selecting that user and then checking the pages that they can work on. You'll also be able to see your user activity by going here. You can see who's been working on which page. The snapshot section is where you can create a backup of your yearbook. It's going to back it up every time there's a change every night. But if you make a big change and you want to back it up, you can create a snapshot here and then you'll be able to restore it anytime you want. This is in case you made a mistake on your book and you want to bring it back to how it was. Okay, so that covers everything for the yearbook tutorial on PLICBooks. Thank you for watching.